Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace. In this video we'll show you phase 2 of the one-time only event for the Lost Shores. The event has kicked off not too long ago while I was recording this, and it is pretty long and nobody is entirely sure what part is repeatable and what part will be gone after the finale has been done, which will happen tomorrow at noon PST, so that's November the 18th PST. But right now, you'll start off at Lion's Arch. We actually saw some deaths, which was quite interesting. We actually made them change their armor color to pink, but that's besides the point. You start off defending Lion's Arch against all these Karkars, which are the new type of enemy, and trust me, you'll be fighting them constantly on this new island. It's kind of overdone how much you have to fight these bastards, and they're pretty nasty, but we'll get to that in a second. Once you were done fighting on Lion's Arch and protecting everyone, you had the ability to take the ship. Now my team, my guild, took Lion, but there's also a point Pride, but you'll get both points. They're both at the shore and you can really easily get both of them, so it doesn't really matter which side you pick. Most people went Lion, so the entire group and guild got split up in overflows, but it seems that the overflows are also smaller, or were smaller, when we were doing this event, just to make everybody have less lag. Anyway, this is another veteran Karkas, because the first time you get to this event right here, you had to clear the beach, so we can take and continue pushing forward into the land as the event. Now the thing with these Karkas is that they are not only pretty tough to kill, but once you think you have killed them, they regain 100% life. It's like you have killed their skills, and then the skills disappear, as you can see on the map itself, and they suddenly have more health once again. So it's very deceiving when you think you might already have killed it, because, well, you don't. Unless you kill them for the second time, then they will go down and they will stay down. They have some very nasty abilities like jumping up and down, basically wiping Zergs left and right, as well as a roll ability, so you really get rolled to death. So you might want to dodge and get out of the way. But once you have cleared the beach, you have to take these siege points. There's 2 of them in total as far as I saw. And you have to go with the NPC and make sure to defend the NPC. And just make sure that you cap those points. They are part of the quest to take over the beach and somehow get some siege in place, whatever the case may or may not be. But that is what you have to do. Once you have done that and you push forward once again, you'll find a small camp with a champion that suddenly jumps in there. Now this is where most of my Zerg wiped, as you can see, a lot of dead people, because it's a very small environment, this little camp here, and he's a giant champion. And as I stated before, he jumps up, he jumps down, and you are dead if you don't watch out. So you might want to dodge perfectly if you are a melee character or are standing within range. It really gives the entire Range Wars 2 vibe back if you don't watch out. Anyway, once that camp has been defended and has settled, then you have to push forward and make sure to clear the road so they can build the road. Quite literally, they are going to build a road, and once you are doing this, or if you are doing this, you can see trees falling down. They are chopping them down to get the wood and to make space for all the kinds of things that they want to build. And it basically comes down to a patrol quest, an escort quest. And once again, you fight a lot of big Karkas, mostly veterans. There are a few champions which are definitely dangerous, but besides that it's mainly veterans and some small Karkas which surprisingly hurt, and they can pretty much cripple you permanently if you don't watch out. So stay with the Zerg and you should be fine. Now once you have done this and you have pushed through, there's a bit of a split. Now I took the chance here to not defend the NPC but to collect some golem parts. I believe this is one of the repeatable quests on the zone itself. Very deceiving also, because a lot of people were dead around the golem part because you had to collect the golem parts and bring them to the NPC. So I was trying to collect them, but I got stuck reviving somebody and therefore the worm killed me. A lot of people got into this trap, as it were, and died as a result of that. So very interesting to see, and I only picked up 1 golem because I didn't feel like dying once again, so I just joined up with the escort quest once again. Because you get to this bridge, and this is very interesting to see. I found it very intriguing because you can get the build, you can see the build of the bridge, quite literally. I started to act like it was some kind of weird jumping puzzle, because I initially thought it was just a jumping puzzle. But if you wait a little bit longer, the bridge will actually form, as you can see right now. And it has certain stages, conveniently enough, and by every stage, well, mobs start to spawn and you have to defend the bridge. There's also a giant mob that spawns, and he will roll over the bridge if you're unlucky, and everybody will die, so be very careful with that. And once you get across the bridge, you will land into this very, very bright zone, which is completely different from the zone we started off in. So it's a nice change of pace, and a lot of tentacle beasts once again to start off with. So I kind of figured, nice, new mobs to fight, no Karkas. Kinda was wrong with that. A lot of Karkas do show up, but you have to escort your NPC to this point, because this is where a base camp will be established with a waypoint. And I believe it's a repeatable event right here to defend this post constantly. And it's not more than what you are seeing right now, basically defending it from small Karkas, big Karkas. There's a small event going on here that you have to kill all the Karkas eggs. So I'm assuming that it spawns back if this specific point gets taken back by the NPCs, otherwise you don't really have to worry, I reckon. And you can also pick up throughout the entire phase 2, you could pick up these pistols right here. And they're pretty powerful, especially against Karkas. They also melt their shields away apparently in the Lion's Arch part, which was very intriguing, because otherwise you could not have done any kind of damage. But it's like a flamethrower, just more around poison instead of fire. So very fun to see, and I can definitely see where bots are going to stand, if bots are still a thing, or just people AFKing hopefully and just camping this event if it doesn't get done properly. Anyway, this is for this waypoint, and this is kind of where the event stream stops. I'm not sure if it was bugged or whatever the case may be, but I started to explore the island and I found this part right here, a little bit more to the west. And there's actually a giant cave behind this, but it's currently closed, and they are building giant Azura lasers. So the assumption that I made, and currently still hold, as many other do that I've talked to about, it's probably going to be the part of phase 3 tomorrow, where the lasers will shoot towards this cave and will break the wall that is preventing us from going in. So we can actually go in and potentially beat the main boss, is what I'm thinking. Not entirely sure if that's the case. Either way, I'm walking towards the lasers right now, so you might see them in a second. There are over there, there's 3 of them, perhaps more tomorrow. And as you can see, there is indeed something behind there. A cave of some sort, with a very strategically placed wall that seems to be going down when triggered. So we'll see tomorrow if my assumption was right. But that's the only thing that it was a little bit event based. The only thing I found otherwise was this place over here with another waypoint, a broken Azura gate, some repair people here, potentially some events going on here as well once everything is done, or perhaps they were bugged and they just didn't trigger right now. Either way, there's a waypoint here, so always nice to have it. And the last event that I found that was in fact active is up here. It's a bit awkward to get up here because you have to swim around and walk over these docks or over these broken boats. And then you have a waypoint here as well. And it's basically a pickup quest where you have to pick up eggs and bring it back to this NPC right here. And that's pretty much all there is to it. That's all I found within phase 2 right now, within the new zone. So go check it out. You can take the boat in Lion's Arch right now. And it should be pretty safe to go now that the main part of the Zerg has established itself and the waypoints are discovered, as it were. So go check it out. I'll make sure to make videos about this if there's any changes, as well as the big finale. And I will catch you guys next time. Take care.